I didn't actually mute the Battle.net sound, so I guess you guys could hear the countdown. They said 3 minutes, but they started in 2 minutes, but that's okay. That's alright. Final day, guys, of the Masters Coliseum. We've been watching this tournament for 3 weeks straight, pretty much, because we did some qualifiers. We had a very intense and awesome group stage. The playoffs have been pretty good as well. This is the absolute final day. Just 2 matches, the lower bracket final and the grand final. If someone knows the rules of the grand final, I would really love to know them. I don't know. I should have asked the admin. I will just do that after the game, because if I don't know, I guess you guys can't know either. Let's do it. Let's have some fun together.
Let's get it on. Round 1, fight.
In the top left side, we are looking at the main base of our Korean Terran, the world champ of 2016. The man who had an excellent group stage, won all 5 best of 3s, went 10-2 in match, had a great first round, had a great second round. Just yesterday, it truly wasn't his day. He was a little bit off. It is the Shopify Rebellions, ByuN. In the bottom right side, the man who's had a pretty flawless tournament so far, right? One little slip up in the quarter-final upper bracket. He lost 3-1 against Clem, so it is possible. It is doable for him to be defeated in this matchup. But we know it is incredibly hard. This is the one and only great Jonas Sotala, BASILISK Serral. And of course, if ByuN is the world champ of 2016, we have to admit, or we have to acknowledge that this man is the 2-time blockbuster world champ of StarCraft 2 2018 and 2022. And he will once more, guys, go for a bit of a delayed guess. No, actually, that's not true. He has done a lot of 2-based lairs throughout this event. I don't know what Serral is going to do here on Dragon Skills. It could be more of that 2-based lair roach opening that he's very fond of. Serral is going to scout, though, that ByuN went command center first. I actually kind of like that. If ByuN is assuming that Serral will play the roach style, even though Serral did play Lynx yesterday on this map against Maru, but if he's assuming that he's going to see more roaches, I kind of like the idea of going command center first. I hope there are no 3-0s and 4-0s today either. Whoa, okay, guys. ByuN is going to open up with a pretty spicy build here. Command center first into 4x? That's a lot of Marines. I like it. Oh, that's a good way to start our Sunday, eh? There's one last thing, by the way, guys, that I'm going to do. So I'm going to alt-tab for just 1 second, even though that's completely useless. I'm going to disable my alerts while I'm in the game. Yesterday, I didn't do that. Some days I did do that. Yesterday, I didn't do that. And yesterday, we actually had a crazy amount of love towards the end, which obviously makes me very happy and is great for me, but I also want to make sure that you guys have a good viewing experience. So for the final day, we'll disable in-game alerts. But there is a chance that they will pile up now when I get out of game. So the after game analysis, they may struggle a little, but at least the viewing experience will be good in game. I will still give some love and shoutouts, obviously. Thank you, Shaza. So 4x for ByuN. CC first into 4x. Serral has scouted a little, but he definitely, I think, does not know about 4 barracks at the moment. ByuN is only going to show a few Marines, which I think is very smart here. I'm gonna say something really stupid, and you guys can absolutely shout at me. Is there a world where ByuN even pulls some SCVs? Against Protoss, there are some weird builds where you just spam bio and then you pull SCVs. And if you know that they have nothing that's good against SCVs, that wouldn't actually be that bad. I will drive over to take the V, yes, guys. As soon as I'm done with Masters Coliseum today, I will go back to take the V and have some fun with everyone and enjoy the party. What is the delay? 0. The delay is 0. We are looking at the best StarCraft 2 players in the world. Now, the lair is done. Obviously, Serral with this build has a very, very, very quick lair. So now I guess pulling SCVs would be kind of pointless. Because obviously Serral at this point knows. And he's going to need to do a few more roaches than the usual few safety roaches. Is ByuN blind countering Serral? I don't know if I would call this a blind counter, but this is a build that I definitely enjoy against the way that Serral has been playing. I think it makes sense what ByuN is doing here. How was Home Sewer Cup last night? A lot of fun, just really good vibes. Played some beer pong, there was some music, couple drinks, nothing too wild for me obviously, because I want to do a good job today. And once you're 36, guys, you're not going to drink a lot on a Saturday and be energetic on the Sunday. Serral needs to be careful. He's got 12 roaches, which I want to say is enough. ByuN throws down a scan. Is going to get a couple of the creep tumors. I wonder if he's going to stim towards the left. No, he's going to stim forward. But Serral has a few more roaches. I think the roach numbers are high enough. Now, obviously, the guy with the gun is pretty good. 12 Marines for 9 roaches. I guess that's not bad. That is actually not bad. But now ByuN is going to struggle a little bit getting all these units home. Not the worst initial poke by ByuN here, guys. I don't hate it. I absolutely do not hate it. Serral splitting up a couple of roaches on the right, though. He wants to get a little bit more, and a lot of these Marines are one hit away from dying. Serral does need to be careful that he doesn't totally overstay his welcome. I wouldn't really want to try to go up that ramp. So in the end, it's 18 against 9. And that makes it all a little more acceptable for Serral. Is this game a recording? I mean, that depends, right? I guess technically we're all being recorded all the time, mate. We are living in a simulation. Our entire lives are recorded. This game is indeed recorded. But it's also live. Serral's playing with such a low drone count. Well, Serral's drone count initially goes up high, right? Because he has a gasless opening. So that means less drones mining gas, more drones mining minerals. And he can crank out a lot of units. But against that many Marines, you're forced to build a few more safety units than you would ideally like. Because otherwise you just die against the first 20 Marines that run to the other side of the map. Now you're just confused. If with recording, if you mean that this has already been played, no, mate. I showed the lobby, I think. This game is as live as possibly can be. There is a 0-second delay. We're watching the best StarCraft 2 players in the world champions. There is no cheating here. The guys from WTL obviously knows that. These dudes are very honorable. And the game is 100% live. But you are still being recorded. You're part of a VOD right now, so you're definitely being recorded, mate. Roaches with a tunneling claws. We're going to have a dropper lord, but obviously ByuN has a lot of bio production. He's down 8 workers against roaches with 1-1 upgrades on the way. Like, I don't hate it for ByuN right now, guys. I don't hate it for ByuN, but obviously it's going to be very important that he keeps track of these roaches with tunneling claws and burrow. This missile turret finishes up at a picture-perfect moment. Beautiful for ByuN here, guys. And that means that he's going to snipe all 4 roaches, take 0 damage. I mean, ByuN is off to a pretty sweet start in this best of 5. I already want to say that he found more success in this game than he did in the entire best of 5 yesterday against Cure. This is where Serral is going to be very annoying. He's very good in keeping these roaches alive for a long time. There's a lot of roaches trying to get into the third, but that missile turret is going to reveal that these roaches are here as well. Shopify Rebellion's ByuN is playing good. Don't know if that was really worth a scan. Okay, that's a lot of scans. Single drop load, forcing Serral to scan 3 times, but... Yes, ByuN has ping advantage. You have been paying attention. Game 1, you guys can see this very... If you have great eyesight, you can kind of see it in the top left side. It says Western United States. Ping for me is 154. Ping for Serral, probably going to be a tiny bit higher than that. So far, indeed, very, very clean on ByuN's side. This army, man, this army slaps. Now, there are 2 infestors out on the map. The infestors obviously have a lot of potential. Fongo is great. ByuN is going to try to... Or, excuse me, Serral is going to try to find some more damage with roaches on the other side of the map. ByuN is showing this a lot of respect. And he decides to bring everything home. What is happening over here? Not a whole lot. I love the idea of tiny drops. I think that the roaches really struggle with tiny drops. Because obviously roaches don't shoot up. So you don't need like triple medevac drops. Just a single medevac drop with 8 Marines or 6 Marines and a Marauder. 1 in the main, 1 in the bottom left, main army in the center. I think that's a very good way to play against these styles. Wasn't that wrong? After all, ByuN tends to go ham on scans. No. I think what ByuN did there was perfectly fine. I mean, so far the man has killed 22 roaches, lost 20 Marines. I said you don't have to doom drop. And ByuN says, well, Roddy, watch me whip, watch me nay. Serral's going to bring a lot of units over. I do think this is a little bit risky. There's still a tiny drop in the bottom left side as well. Widow mine is going to burrow. Serral needs to make sure that he respects the mine. He sees it, lands the fungal. What, guys? That tiny drop in the bottom left did manage to get 6 drones. Oh, is that a cancel or a kill? That's a kill. ByuN's leftover main army gets a kill at the triangle. Has unloaded units in the main base once more. Fungo is good. ByuN bleeding out a lot here, but obviously denying one of the bases. getting a bit of economic damage, pushing the creep back further. And this is all right before the 2-2 upgrades for the bio. Now the first few lurkers are on the way. We have 9 Hydras that could potentially morph into lurkers. Seismic spines being researched. Serral needs to be very careful here. I do not like Serral's army being here, guys. ByuN has way more firepower in his 2-2 bio army. A nice fungal would be sweet here, but I actually think that ByuN won't be discouraged by that fungal. He would just keep on pushing. ByuN throws down a scan. Serral definitely in a little bit of trouble. We have lurkers. How many? 3 lurkers without any of their feisty upgrades. Tiny drop finally got taken care of. I'd say ByuN is in the driver's seat here, guys, in game 1, but give Serral a couple lurkers and he can obviously hang in there for a long time. But Serral is on the ropes. 70 drones, not the place Serral wants to be. A severe lack of creep. Infestors don't have a lot of energy anymore. There's a big army on the left side. Serral has 2 spines, but 2-2 bio with medevac support does not give a fuck about spine crawlers. First spine falls, second spine falls, couple of roaches, and Hydra's not going to be good enough. And this is where it really hurts Yona, that he does not have this purple upgrade yet on the lurkers that we call adaptive talents. That means that the lurkers are going to be quicker and are able to burrow and unburrow a lot quicker. ByuN throws down a scan and he's wondering if he should forward the Muslim or not. He gets one of the 3 lurkers. Obviously, you want to be careful. He's kind of still fighting outside of that lurker range. The only really sad thing for ByuN in this entire game is that ByuN is pulling the ultimate ByuN, where he only gets +3 armor, not +3 attack. Bio cares a whole lot more about attack than armor. Why does ByuN have to go full ByuN on us, guys? He's actually playing a really good first game. But Serral is hanging in there. I don't know if we have Vipers yet. Nope. Another base does get cancelled. Big old drop in the main. Single lurker does have adaptive talents, but it's not being burrowed. Serral a little bit late there, and I don't know if a single lurker would have really saved the day, but there's a tiny counterattack. Spawning pool has gone down, so no more Zerglings for Serral temporarily. And now the real question is, how much damage can these roaches do? But this is what I saw a little bit of Serral against Clem as well, where the roaches are derping. This is not the first time we see this. The roaches derping here a little bit, giving ByuN 5, 6, or 10 seconds extra to react. Serral can't do this stuff too often. Has taken the supply lead, but this is one of these rare moments where I want to tell you guys, and I hope that Todd is not listening, that the supply does lie. I think ByuN is in a great position. The only thing that's scary though is that the lurker count is going up. It is incredibly hard to kill 7 or even 10 lurkers without any ghost. ByuN's got the tempo advantage, ByuN's got the momentum advantage, Serral has a lack of creep. Serral truly struggles trying to get a 5th base up. As another cancel goes down. There are a couple of drones dying in the main. That's actually one hell of a drop, guys. A couple of drones dying, more like 10 drones dying. I mean, ByuN is now going to pull the Muslim. He sizes up the army, throws down a scan, and he actually gets away with it. He gets a couple of the lurkers in the center of the map, and this obviously means that Serral now is in all sorts of trouble. Needs to bring more lurkers over. ByuN, that's a risky one. Are you sure about this? He loses a lot. Gets 2 lurkers. Has lost 11 SCVs as well. 2 roaches and lurkers on the other side of the map. 2 marauders could potentially kill that lurker then, but Hydra spawn at a perfect moment. ByuN is playing a great game, and I still think it's looking well for him, guys, because Serral has lost most of his lurkers, and the Roach Hydra army off creep. That is a lot of Hydras, though. Serral's up in supply. ByuN has lost a lot of SCVs. Now 5 more lurkers are on the way. The Ghost Academy is done, but we have 0 ghost out. If only ByuN had +3 a little bit quicker, guys. These are the barracks with tech labs too, rally point. Serral's attacking with the drones too. He's attacking with a lot of drones. 5 drones, a whole bunch of Hydras, and a couple of lurkers. Marauders can't do this. No, I don't think they can do this. Oh, ByuN, I really don't think you can do this. It actually means that it's still Yona who's going to win game 1. Despite the fact that it kind of felt that he was on the ropes for the vast majority of this game. But 2 of those stims forward into the lurkers. ByuN lost a lot of bio. Obviously, forgetting +3, very painful. Man, it felt that so many things were going ByuN's way. How did that happen? Well, we saw that scan at that 6 o'clock base, and he went forward. He lost a lot of his units. Obviously, the transition into Ghost was a little bit late. There were no tanks with this playstyle, so that means that, yeah, even Hydra's become pretty good. And the few lurkers. Obviously, Serral finding a good amount of SCV damage too. Poor ByuN, he did a lot of things right. He did a lot of things right, but kudos to Yona. 4 base Zerg. You don't see that very often. 4 base Zerg of 70 drones, guys. Not a single Viper gets the job done. Yep, I mentioned that a few times, Magnus. If ByuN, guys, has +3 attack in that game instead of +3 armor, there's actually a good chance that one of these forward stims goes a whole lot better for him. That's a little bit painful. Is it a rule all tournaments that the first map has Korean ping? Not necessarily all tournaments, but obviously tournaments are consistent with whatever rule they set. And yeah, for this tournament, throughout the very beginning till the end, it has been West, Central, West, Central, West for Korea against Europe. If it is Europe against China, then every single game is on US West. I don't know what would happen if it's, let's say, Korea against Russia, then maybe it is Central, West, Central, West, Central, but obviously Finland is not Russia. So, it was a fun game, an exciting game, but also a little bit heartbreaking for the underdog, who had, I think, a lot of things going his way, played well, got himself in a good spot, I think had the right idea, but then just 2 of those demo moments, as I like to call them, because my good friend Benjamin Baker, for 2 years straight in Legacy of the Void, would not make Ghost and would just throw down scans and stim into lurkers. I kind of think that the demo moments got the best of ByuN there, guys.
Round 2, fight!
Top left side of Babylon, the man who went 10-2 in his group stage and had a great performance in the quarterfinals and the semifinals of the upper bracket. Now lost 4 games in a row though in these playoffs. Can we start turning things around? Shopify, Rebellions, ByuN. Yeah, back-to-back command center first. In the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who just showed us that he can get the job done with his roaches, whether or not he has a great early game or a great mid game. Made it up to Hive, got the lurkers when he needed them the most. It's BASILISK Serral. I think ByuN had 0 tanks in that game. It's kind of indeed tiny bit odd that we saw not too many Wither Mines, right? But we saw a couple of Wither Mines in there. Well, mines against roaches, tanks are a whole lot better, eh? Yeah, that's what I thought as well, Scarlett. I actually mentioned this yesterday. And then somebody said like, oh, yeah. ByuN throughout his entire career has this tendency to fire up armor and then attack. But there are some moments where either your other upgrade is not done yet or he doesn't have the resources for the second button. The man always fires up armor before attack. But bio units just benefit so much more from attack than armor. He has lost more games than I think any other Terran on this planet because he has prioritized armor over attack. But when I say prioritize, that's maybe the wrong word choice because it's not really a priority. It's a mistake. It's just the way that he clicks buttons. Back-to-back command center first for ByuN, but you guys can see that the follow-up is very different. The last game, ByuN went CC first into 2 Rexes initially, and then he dropped barracks number 3 and 4. So he had a lot of Marines, a lot of firepower early on. This is definitely a greedy build order by ByuN. But yeah, ByuN just seems very confident that Serral will play gasless in the beginning, and Serral is indeed playing gasless. But Serral is also switching it up because he's going up to 3 bases a lot quicker. I kind of wonder if there's a world where ByuN can just YOLO some Hellions early on. I don't hate the idea of a little Marine poke with Hellion support. And then maybe like Hellions in the natural, tiny drop in the main. Or we put the Hellions inside of the medevac and we drop those in the main. And the Marines just run to the other side of the map and show themselves here. It definitely does feel, guys, that ByuN comes in with a plan here. Clearly has been looking at a lot of the recent Serral CVTs. Knows that Serral is very, very fond of the roach openings at the moment. I have an unban request, guys. We can go ahead and take a little look at the unban request after this game. I'm very excited. Serral supply block. 51 on a 52 is not truly supply block. It's kind of a weird moment to lose your Hellion, to be completely honest, guys. Not exactly sure why. I also find the Cyclone a bit odd, but I guess we're gonna lock on a Queen at the edge of creep. We're gonna lock on some roaches. I'm not sure if I am really feeling this opening. I like the idea of trying to get adventurous with Hellions early on. Serral is going to sacrifice his Overlord, spots a couple of the Marines, saw the Cyclone. And I wonder what makes him think. So it's going to be just a Cyclone for Marine drop. This is a great Overlord hunting squad, and Serral immediately picks up on that and says, I don't want to lose too many of those. So he's going to send one Overlord back to safety, and the other one is obviously on creep, pretty well prepared. I have a hard time seeing how ByuN is going to get a lot of damage done here, but ByuN probably just wants to make sure that these units stay alive for as long as possible. Cyclone lock on 4 Marines, 1 Overlord, the Dust Fall, as the Queens do not have energy to drop a Transfuse. Maybe ByuN can unload on the low ground and try to get this one as well, but that's going to be hard. The Roaches are here, so you don't want to donate any units. We have 2 barracks finishing up, so it's a 3-1-1 setup at the moment. 3 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport, with a third CC going down too. I did the Greyfeld party in Go last night. I mean, I didn't truly party. I was fun, I think. I don't know. Maybe according to Dennis, I'm just not fun anymore, but we had a good time. Just very social. Some music. Played a little bit of beer pong with Diego and Elaser and Showtime and Raynor. Turns out that the Protoss players, by the way, are by far and away the best in beer pong. The Diego, not very good. Elaser and Raynor, straight up disaster. But Showtime and Roddy, we were bringing it home for our team. Hello, Jumi. Thank you, matey, for the 37 months. Responsible old man. It's more just that I also want to be fun today. And if I would have too many drinks yesterday, then A, I would do a very bad job on my own stream. B, I'd be doing a bad job on the Take TV stream. And C, I just wouldn't have fun. And I do want to have more fun today. So. Yeah. 66 drones on the side of Yona against the 57 SCVs on the side of ByuN. It is obviously important that ByuN keeps tabs on the creep here. Not exactly sure what we are going for here with that single Cyclone, but at Roach count currently at 16. We are building tanks. Tanks are excellent at Babylon. Serral has obviously built very quick hives throughout this event. I don't think we'll ever see a quicker hive than he did yesterday in Game 3 against Maru. This double drop, does it have potential? There are a couple of roaches. There are more roaches on the way, so Serral's unit positioning is just so good. Sometimes it's really hard to understand why Serral is as good as he is. But that's just that Serral is very good in not giving his opponent any openings. The units are kind of always where they need to be, and it seems that ByuN had a tiny move command there. Nothing too dramatic. Seemed like he bled out a few Marines, but that's just not a very good feeling. Serral does need to be a little bit careful here because there are a few Marauders in the mix, guys. And Marauders deal a whole lot better with roaches than Marines do. What is this idea? What are we doing over here, guys? ByuN with the 200 IQ moves. I'm not totally certain. Did he catch a glimpse of the hive? No, because the hive is in the natural. And we can throw down a scan, get a couple of the creep tumors here, deny a little bit of that vision. Obviously, vision is incredibly important in high-level StarCraft. So far, it is a single eBay on the side of ByuN. Obviously, we did go for armor. Excuse me, for attack over armor. Wouldn't hate a second eBay right about now in an armory, but hopefully that's going to go down soon. Serral's hive is so quick, though. Tank count, guys, at 3. We have 1 tank here in the mix. 1 tank is at home. Serral has 11 banelings morphing. Baneling speed is halfway done. He's also firing up melee. So Serral's going to shy away from these roaches. The roaches were just there for the opening. He's comfortable with it. It gets him in a good spot. It allows him to get up to hive very quickly. And now Serral will just slowly but steady go into melee units. He'll probably not build too many roaches and ravages. ByuN needs to be careful here, but so far he is. Where's the tank firing from? Alright. Lovely tank positioning, guys. Obviously, that's something that Babylon is known for. But Serral's hive is so quick. Now, if ByuN gets this base, he's obviously absolutely cooking. The tank has a lot of potential there. I absolutely love the tank. 7 kills already. Kind of waiting for Serral to set up a bit of a surround, but so far Serral keeping all of his units in the top right. It almost feels that Serral is worried about something else happening. Like, that is just not enough. Just a few links. Yeah, Serral had a lot of roaches, guys, at the bottom side. He was worried about a few more units trying to get a cancel on that hatchery, but There really isn't anything else happening. ByuN is going to go up to 8 Rexes and a second factory is finishing up. But the first few Vipers are out. ByuN is going to try one more time to get a few more shots on this hatch. And I almost wish that he would have just committed there and then picked up. He's not going to do that. The tanks, though, this is such an uncomfortable spot. But now the Vipers are here. Vipers can obviously drop Arrow Bombs. They can drop Blinding Clouds or Abducts. And everything is going to be good. Serral will keep his hatchery alive. Now all the units are stuck inside of the medevacs. Oh, okay, I like it. I like it by ByuN here. ByuN knows that Serral is sending everything towards his third. And if he was forced to unload there, this is actually one hell of a move. ByuN flies towards the top right, still kills that hatchery, and it also stops the attack from Serral. I love it. That was very, very good by ByuN, guys. Because I was actually worried this was going to be one of these moments where Serral would just keep on pushing. And then, since a lot of the supply is still stuck inside of the medevac, slowly but steady everything unloads. You're not really in the right position as a Terran. That was a great move by ByuN. But I still think he's going to be in a little bit of trouble because there is a lot of Iona. But ByuN is now doing what you want to do as a Terran, making it hard for the Zerg to really pull the trigger and focus on the offense as he gets another cancel. We don't have a single bunker and this eBay is so important. Oh. First few ghosts are on the way, guys, but this is going to be a very difficult hold. At least we are off creep. It really comes down to how good the micro is. That Blinding Cloud is obviously pretty perfect. A lot of SCVs are going to die here. The question is how many? So far, we haven't pulled any of the SCVs away. So it is 14. But in a weird way, guys, I'd rather lose 14 SCVs than that eBay with +2 halfway done. That's how important upgrades are. I mean, it's definitely playable for the man from Korea. The world champ of 2016, I think, kind of hanging in there. Ghost on the way, 2 upgrades finishing up. We've got 4 bases well set up. We're going to get a sensor tower. Meanwhile, Serral obviously lost the top right, was forced to cancel it twice. It's going to take a little while before Serral, I think, can really go again. But Serral says, nope, this is actually the moment that I'm going to go again. Does not have +2 melee yet. There are no bunkers. Basically, everything is coming in from the top right. I highly doubt that ByuN is going to expect this. So a few more SCVs are going to die, but at least the upgrades are done. It really comes down to Blinding Clouds again. One of the tanks is covered. The other 2 tanks still firing, though, with the BASILISK connections. Not all that bad. Eventually, ByuN can turn around and he can start fighting. Did lose all 3 tanks and 26 SCVs. Would have loved like maybe a bunker or a bit of a Sim City. I think that could have helped. Serral is going to scout a 5th CC in the bottom left. And even a Spire going down in the back of the natural. That was obviously good for Serral and not so good for ByuN. Iona has just been on an absolute rampage. Turns out that lower bracket Serral could very well be one of the scariest things on this planet. We memed about it once at a Home Story Cup. Ever since the man dropped to the lower bracket, he hasn't dropped a single game. Well, he dropped 1 game actually. A couple of Corrosive Bows are going to force these Liberators to unsiege. Once more, it's a lot of Lings and Banes crashing into this army. The Ghosts are surviving. That's obviously the most important thing. It just kind of feels that Serral keeps on finding what he's looking for with these little pokes. It's a bit of an army trade, but on top of the army trade, ByuN is not mining of this base. ByuN is losing 10, 15, 20 SCVs at a time. And the man has now lost 58 SCVs and killed 0 drones. That is, those are terrifying numbers if you're a ByuN fan. Serral is now going to try to get on top of this base in the bottom left side. It's just mostly links. It's actually funny that so many of these roaches of the early game are still alive too. 0 drones have died, guys, against ByuN in a 13-minute game. Serral is incredibly good in just having units in the right position, gathering vision, knowing where a potential danger is coming from, and it just makes it so hard for ByuN to find damage. Obviously, Serral is still going to have to work for it. It is Babylon. It can be a decently good map to turtle. A couple of abducts are going to land on these tanks, so Serral gets the tanks. But if Serral doesn't use the Banelings, maybe there is a world where ByuN keeps the planetary safe. But that is not the case. Lings with +2 melee and adrenal glands are good. And now we have those leftover roaches from the early game that are going to hit the triangle. 32 Banelings morphing immediately once more. There are still 9 ghosts. The one thing that I think ByuN has done a very good job in is not losing too many ghosts in these previous fights. And ghosts are obviously very expensive. And ByuN's had an okay economy, but because he has lost now 73 workers, if we also start losing ghosts, then it's basically game over. ByuN is on the ropes. There is no other way to put it. Serral is containing ByuN, making it incredibly difficult for ByuN to even think about truly having a 5-base setup. And at this point, it almost feels that ByuN should be happy with the 4-base setup. This is no longer a planetary fort. I would almost love to see maybe ByuN knock down these rocks. The ghosts are very exposed here, and I have a hard time believing that they can just stand there. Some massive tank shots, though, guys, on the Lynx, but eventually the Lynx will manage to break through. Does feel that this was a slightly better fight for ByuN than many of these other fights. Also, only lost 4 SCVs this time around. How many SCVs are we losing over here? A couple. Yeah, that actually went a lot better. He did lose ghosts, so that's the one thing that sucked a little. Minus 5 goals there, but the tank shots, guys. I mean, losing ghost and tank, and only on 4 bases. If ByuN had a slightly better economy, I would have said that was actually an amazing trade for ByuN. Kind of felt that Serral lost over 100 Zerglings in that attack. Units lost resource tab is showing us that Serral has lost 3k more, but yeah, if you then take a look at the income advantage that Serral has had over the last 10 minutes in this game, obviously 3,000 resources more is perfectly fine for the Zerg. Serral actually somehow finding 3 Ravages, having a little 3 Ravager hit squad. He says, oh, you're trying to keep a base safe? There are 2 roaches, by the way, guys, at the back of that natural. Still getting a lot of shots off, so extra SCVs are dying. ByuN is going to take care of them finally. But, oh my goodness. Serral wouldn't be Serral if he doesn't still manage to find Burrow. Nice. 9 kills, guys, on a single roach. It's very hard for a roach to get 9 kills. We are closing in at the moment where 10 kills on the roach. I believe there is a sound bits out there somewhere. Do you believe in a thing called Roach? Look at Yona. He's definitely going to burrow. Come on, Yona. No! MVP Roach falls. Alright. But Serral is like, alright, I'm going to get revenge for my Roach. Has a massive Link counterattack this time around. The Lynx have +3 melee and adrenal glands. Without a bunker here, I mean, every single SV is going to get obliterated. Tanks get obliterated. Serral's doing an amazing job in just maneuvering around the map, and at one point showing roaches, then ravages, and that's when the Zerglings show up. Because whatever is good against the roaches is often not very good against Lynx, and what's very good against Lynx can struggle a little bit with just a couple of ravages or roaches. Serral's making this game a nightmare, but ByuN is battling. ByuN is battling and hanging in there. Man, this is wild, by the way. 108 SCVs have died, while 0 drones have fallen. I don't know if I've ever seen that, as now the Lynx are gonna sneak through these rocks and again on top of the tank, so the Liberators are looking at the wrong angle. I mean, Serral's putting on an absolute masterclass of playing some ZVT here, taking full advantage of the speed of some of his units that he has, taking full advantage of the mobility, the vision. Unreal, man. That's a masterclass right there, guys. An absolute clinic by the great Jonas Sotala. The man lost 0 drones in an 18-minute game, and he killed 109 SCVs. Wow. Yeah, I mean, honestly, sometimes you just gotta tip your fedora. Whether you're cheering for ByuN or you're cheering for the Terran, whether you're a Serral fan or not, I think you gotta give the man a little round of applause for that one, because that was peak Yona right there. That was an incredibly impressive game. Just... That was an amazing performance. Almost speechless, guys, but it's way too early to get speechless, because obviously this is only the lower bracket final, and it's not over yet. Game 3 will be played on US West. ByuN is capable of making epic comebacks, but it almost feels impossible to win 3 ZVTs in a row against this Yona. This Yona has just looked borderline untouchable throughout this entire tournament. Only Clem got the best of him. How did he become so unbeatable? Well, Serral has been great for quite some time. It's just that he had 2 series at big moments where he looked a bit off. I mean, maybe throughout the entire IM Katowice, you could say that Serral didn't look untouchable in Poland, right? Maybe those are the nerves. Maybe that's a little bit of pressure as well, of having to defend his title, of winning it the previous year. I think IM Katowice, Serral wasn't particularly great in the group stage, and then he obviously lost a close series against Ragnarok. After IM Katowice, Serral was amazing for 3-4 months straight. Lost like one series against Raynor at Home Story Cup. Other than that, it felt that all the boy ever did was win, 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 win. And then we had Gamers 8, where obviously I think he looked good as well in the group stage of Gamers 8. And it's just that Solar has amazing ZVZ. Or at least, Solar has very tricky ZVZ. And I think Solar is just a killer. He's a winner. He knows how to make games dirty and straightforward. But Serral has been really good right now. Basically, ever since IM Katowice ended, Serral has been as good as 2018 Serral. That's kind of what it feels like. Clem beats Serral and loses to ByuN. Yeah, but that's obviously TVT, right? TVT is a completely different ballgame. Oh my. Game 3 is actually on Ancient Sistren. So you're down 0-2 against a completely unleashed Serral. And now you have to play Ancient. This is by many to be considered by far and away the best Zerg map that you're going to play in best of 5s. Because obviously in best of 7s, there is a single map veto. And most Terrans will veto altitude.
Round 3. Fight!
ByuN vs Raynor is in my opinion in favor of ByuN. Raynor did have a very convincing win over ByuN though at Gamers 8. So, I know that ByuN played a great series against Raynor in Sweden at the Summer Championships. And that could have gone either way. That could have been a ByuN victory. That could have been a Raynor victory. But Raynor dominated ByuN in Saudi Arabia. Like, that wasn't all that close. Anyway, bottom left side, guys, of Ancient. We are looking at the main base of our Korean Terran, the world champ of 2016. Down 0-2. Felt that he was doing good in game 1. Kind of felt that he almost had it in game 2. Just very few things went his way. He went up against an absolute monster. Can we turn the tide? This is ByuN. And in the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who, if you ignore that best of 5 against Clem, has played one of the best tournaments I think he has ever played throughout his incredibly impressive career. He's been amazing from the very beginning till the very end. Has now won Lord knows how many games in the lower bracket in a row. 8, 9, 10. I don't know how crazy it is. It's BASILISK Serral. I think he won 2 games against Dark. Then he won 3 games in the following round. Then he won 3 games against Max Packs. 2 here. So what is this? Like a 9-10... map win streak in the lower bracket. Man is on the rampage. Serral lost to Clem in the quarterfinals of the upper bracket. He was already looking good in the group stage, but he has looked even better after that best of 5. It's 11 games in a row right now. Do you think Serral played bad against Clem? I mean, I discussed it a little bit with Raynor and I discussed it with Clem. I think Clem is a very useful source in that regard. I don't think that Serral played bad. I think we are selling the achievement of Clem short if we say that Serral played bad. But Serral did not look as sharp in that best of 5 as he did in some of the other games. As it's 3 Rex Reaper, by the way, guys. And what I mean with that is that there were a few moments where Serral sets up 3 attacks at once. But rather than those attacks working out well or the units battling, they were move commanding a little bit. So units got stuck, they were bottled up, and it made it easier for Clem to take care of those units. Like a 10 out of 10 Serral does not have units derping in mineral lines. He has units fighting, so it wasn't the best Serral, but I also think that Clem is just a god tier TVZ player, and especially on 0 ping. Like, it's often a mix of 2 things, right? It's Clem who was amazing, and Serral was maybe not at the very best of his abilities, but I honestly don't think it would be right to say, Clem won because Serral played bad. No. I think Serral played quite good and Clem played amazing. I think that's what it was. And I think Raynor agreed with that and I think Serral agreed with that. Well, not Serral. I didn't ask Serral, but Clem. Guys, ByuN gets a cancel on the 3rd hatch. Obviously gets the drone as well, but this is 3 Rex Reaper. Not the same as the 2 Rex Reaper opening. So he obviously needs to do a lot of damage with this opening. But this is, at this point, not bad. 27 SCVs. Obviously, commencement is a little bit late. Link speed is done though, and the link count is quite high. This is what is going to be very important. ByuN cannot just lose all these Reapers. ByuN can fight this amount of Zerglings if he's in a good spot. Like high ground, low ground, grenades, non-stop. He's actually going to go back. This could get very... Oh, Stim is going to get cancelled perhaps. Oh no. I almost want to see the Reapers go into the natural, but then again, then you also lose all the Reapers, so I guess you cannot really do that. Serral knows where the Reapers are, and now it all comes down to unit positioning. There is a queen. There are multiple queens that are going to make their way over. 23 links against 8 Reapers. This is very nice actually for ByuN to get a couple of links early. Creep threat. We could spam some grenades already, some early game grenades. If ByuN gets back-to-back cancels on the hatch, he's cooking. Oh, if he gets a queen, oh my goodness, what a save. What a save. That actually had snowball potential too there. But this wasn't bad for ByuN, guys. He was in danger of losing Stim. Did not end up losing Stim. Hey, Rot. Hello, mate. I don't know if we really have to call me Rot. We can go with Roddy. Or Kevin, or Cav. Big Cav, tiny Cav, small Cav. Warcraft 3 player supreme. I will react to all of those things, but I don't know about Rot. Did you manage to talk to Clem about his match with Maru? Yeah, a little bit, Cosio. Obviously, it's not the first thing that I do, right? When I walk into the Take TV building, I'm like, oh, Clem, what a series. Like, you know, I don't know if he's still molding a little bit or not, because obviously players have emotions. But Clem is always a sweetheart, no matter how upset or tilted he may be. He's always a sweetheart. But I kind of waited until the day just went on. And at the end of the night, when Clem went home, which was like 1:15, I spoke a little bit about him with the game. So I was like, what did you think of the best of 5? And Clem just said, oh man, 0-6 TVT. Korean Terrence, mate. I was like, yeah. I was like, it's rough. I was like, that second game today was pretty wild. And then Clem just said, yeah. He's like, oh man, it's such a troll. And I asked him why he went home, right? Because it was on Ancient and Clem had such a good spot. And he did tell me that he was worried about a drop. But then he just looked at the game and he's like, I should have known that that was not possible. He's like, it was just a big misread by me. And he's like, yeah, then Maru did Maru things. So basically, Clem said he made a big misread in the early game and then just gave kudos to Maru for playing an amazing game. That is all there is to it. Thank you, Duke Nukem, for the Prime. ByuN, guys, has played a pretty good game. I really don't hate it. I cannot say that I think ByuN has made a lot of mistakes. Obviously, we didn't have too many things commit yet. Queen count is not quite as high as on other moments. And Serral wanted to wait a little bit, but by waiting, he lost multiple queens, loses another one. Oh my goodness, okay, it's multiple stims. Can some of these Bailings connect? No, because it's unbelievable over here on Ancient. That is 10 out of 10 target firing right there. And is this then the kind of stuff that ByuN needs to finally drop or take a map of Serral? It's absolutely starting to look like it. Wow, ByuN wins on Ancient with an absolutely amazing fight. Great unit positioning and 10 out of 10 snipes. I mean, that was just so good, guys, that we have to take another look at it. I was a bit surprised that these queens were standing around here for so long. I kind of thought that was a mistake. If the queens are battling, I feel like the lings and queens need to battle. But can we just appreciate this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And not a single Bailing connected with the bio. That's ByuN right there, guys. That's big ByuN. Serral does bleed a tiny bit, finally, in that lower bracket. The win streak has ended. Now, Game 4, of course, will be played on US Central. So this is the map that favors ByuN a little bit. Excuse me, this is the server that favors Serral a little bit. You guys saw I have 160 on West. I have 124 on Central United States. That was amazing by ByuN, guys. We've got a series. I keep on seeing a blinking light because of the on-ban request. I have to take a little look at this, guys. It's the curiosity that kills me. Who wants a second chance in life? I will give power to the people, of course. I will give power to the people. All right, Game 4 is starting, so I have to be very quick. Sorry about the echo. What is happening here? Okay, that's kind of funny. I think that this ban had a lot to do with Roddy being tilted. So, on my birthday, actually, the man doesn't say a whole lot. And then he asked me if I never swapped to AoE4, no biggie. And then he said, I don't even get this many ads in the cinema. It was on my birthday, so maybe I was tilted or something. I don't know, but whatever. We'll unban him. That's all good, Vic. Oh, come back. It's like, obviously, guys, sometimes when people get timed out or banned, especially if it's a long time ago, you forget the exact details of what happened back then. And maybe I just had a whole speech about, hey guys, I'm sorry, I have to run a couple ads, and then I don't know, people were tilting me out. You know, obviously once in a blue moon I'm gonna be in a bad mood. But if I look at a chat history like that, I'm like, okay, that's pretty innocent. Like there was no need for that. Game of Cheese, don't push your luck right now, mate. Don't push your luck. You are back, but I wouldn't get too carried away.
Round 4. Fight!
In the bottom left side of Royal Blood, we are looking at the main base of the man that's representing the Shopify Rebellion. Honestly, a very clean game, right? With the 3 Rex Reaper. Gets a cancel on the hedge, gets another cancel on the hedge, keeps the Reapers alive, protects Tim, and in the end takes a 10 out of 10 fight against Queens, Lings, and Banelings without speed. That's the kind of stuff we want to see from the World Champ of 2016, giving us a series. It's ByuN. In the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the great Jonas Sutala, representing Basilisk. This is Serral. Thank you to Void and Ashes and a Squirrel and Lap and Raken. ST Lurk. I don't know what the ST Lurk made, but thank you. Hello, why do you think Korean Terrans struggling more than in Clem against Serral and Reina? I mean, because TVT is a very different matchup than TVZ. I also do think, though, and I definitely don't want to say that the top-tier European Zergs win online because of ping, but I think that we will pretty much all agree that it's slightly harder to play Terran when the ping is high than it is to play Zerg, right? Because Zerg is a lot about unit positioning and then shoving it in, while Terran comes down to micro. So once we're playing cross-server, I think it's always been harder to play Terran. I also think it's hard to play Protoss cross-server, by the way. I think when it comes to high-ping video gaming, Zerg is the race that benefits the most of this. I think most pro players would agree with this, maybe even some Zergies, but obviously they wouldn't love me hearing saying this. But the main reason, I think, why the Korean Terrans just do very good against Clem in TVT is that in Korea, at any given moment throughout history, you've always had 5, 6 absolute world-class Terran players. And in Europe, that is just not the case. So Clem, even the best practice he can get, which is either the Eutherm on the old days or Juanito that's on fire, right now Spirit or Hero Marine, no matter how good those guys are, they are not as good as the 5 best Korean Terrans. So these Korean Terrans, when they play TVT with each other non-stop in GSL or other online copies, they are pushing each other forward. Their level of practice is simply high. ByuN, don't do this. Oh. Don't do this kind of stuff. That's not what you want to do with your Reaper. But yeah, the TLDR is just that I think the Korean Terrans have better practice because there are more world-class Terran players in Korea. Then Clem is able to practice his TVT to get it to that level. So that was a whole lot of talking, but I feel pretty good about this. It's not a Hellbat drop, it's a Hellion drop. Serral does not know about the Hellion drop, does have an Overlord, sees the medevac, but Queen's alone, guys. I was actually thinking of this on Babylon. This could be good, there is no Evo block yet. ByuN is gonna get a lot of drones, the only question is how many. 6 is alright, but he wants more, he needs more. He gets 8, can he get the perfect shot? Oh, 1 shot away there, guys, from actually getting a lot of extra drones. But these Hellions still going strong, make it 11. Now this is a big investment though, guys, and obviously Serral's economy is very good. It's 13 in the end. Yeah. 13 drones as a 2 base opener from the Terran. Yeah, I think that ByuN is quite happy with that. It is not as good as some people may think. What do we say? You throw more any other high level Terran plays? Like, I think it's quite good, but I don't want to say that it's amazing, because it's still 4 Hellions and a medevac. I don't know if it is that amazing, because it's a 2 base opening. Like, it definitely wasn't a disaster. It was obviously quite alright. But I don't want to say that I think that ByuN is celebrating that as the biggest win of his life. He did kill 13 drones more than he managed to kill in an 18-minute game on Babylon, so yeah. If we look at the bright side of life, that's amazing. I don't want to say it's bad. This obviously is really going to hurt the economy of Serral. Serral, who is supply blocked a tiny bit as well, but that obviously won't last too long. He's building Evo chambers. There is a moment where we're going to have Stim. We're going to have a couple of medevacs. Whoa, if these Marines get the Ravages. Now, okay, these are lovely little pickups there, guys. Serral perhaps overstaying his welcome a little bit. And ByuN is truly starting to turn things around. Those are expensive units, guys. Ravages ain't cheap. And Serral got very little done with those 3 Ravages. Isn't it funny how quickly StarCraft 2 can change? Now Serral is still currently working with a 16 worker lead. And it is 3 bases against 2. The first big fight with +1 combat shield and ByuN is going to be ultra important. Like, if ByuN doesn't get a big victory there, he's still in a world of trouble because we are looking at 2 base ByuN. ByuN is 2 base. 3 racks, 2 base. ByuN needs an amazing fight. Potentially like a game-winning fight. Thank you, MDA and Vorax. Obviously, 1-0 bio against 0-0 roaches. It could be amazing. Serral needs to stop droning, by the way. I'm not exactly sure why Serral thought he needs a few more drones. Serral is still droning. Isn't that crazy? What am I missing here? Why is Serral building drones? This is dangerous, Yona. This honestly is dangerous. The units are going to stim forward. The roach count is decent, but it's definitely not quite as high as it could have been. And you can really see that ByuN believes in the firepower of his +1 bios. He's still stimming forward. He's getting a lot of these roaches. He's going to get a few more. I think we got a single queen in the mix there as well. Queen falls, roaches fall. Now maybe ByuN can start finding some drones. That was good. That was pretty damn good. Don't get me wrong. 3 queens, 9 roaches. But ByuN is 2 base Terran, 7 minutes into the game. ByuN needs more than pretty good. And I think the next time they fight, the 1-1 upgrades are going to kick in. The queen count is only at 2 though. So that does open the door for the mobility of the medevacs to shine and ByuN to start dropping and flying all over the place. In the straight up fight, I don't know if he can really get what he's dreaming of at the moment. But what he can do obviously is take advantage of the fact that Serral barely has any anti-air right now. Serral indeed just needs to make sure he doesn't take too much damage. If he does not take too much damage in the next minute, yeah, he's completely fine because the 3rd base is so damn late. Serral's moving the units away. He thought that they were going into the main, then he moves them back. So now ByuN is here. ByuN is going to try to get a few more drones, get at least a queen. I don't think this is really a fight you can take though, ByuN. So all 4 medevacs at the same place and he gets a queen, but ByuN needs more. ByuN simply needs more than what he's currently finding. Now even the first few infestors are out already. Now obviously ByuN does have 3 bases in the near future. We are working on some tanks. There's okay. Alright, this is actually gonna be interesting. We already have 2 tanks, 3 tanks. Okay, this is actually a very big moment. ByuN moving to the other side of the map, guys, with a lot of additional marines. The reinforcements have arrived. That drop is still going on in the main. And this is actually perfect play by ByuN, because now he's going to pull a lot of Serral's units into the main. Spawning pool dies. Metabolic boost, aka circling speed denied. And this is not an army that I think Serral can fight, even though if we land fungals like that, we always start believing. But 3 tanks, guys. 1 on siege tank. ByuN, do you have a couple of leftover bio units? Because just a few marines or marauders would be so useful here. He doesn't have them, and he's losing more units to the slow circling counterattack on the other side of the map, and just like that, it is all over. Just like that, it is all over. Just when it feels promising for ByuN, what happened to all these bio units, guys? It kind of feels right now, if you pick this up and you send it back towards the tanks, man, that fungal. What a fungal, straight out of heaven. Oh, baby. Wait, oh, he lost the medevac too, with probably units inside of it as well, right? Because 2 queens were there. The Fongo is the 10 out of 10, but I think actually the queens kill one of the medevacs. Oh no, they killed the full medevac. That's pure pain right there, because I was wondering, why don't we have a few more bio units supporting these tanks? Because this could have been a really good fight, I think, for ByuN, guys. 4 tanks, a bit of bio support, that would have been really hard without any Vipers. And then the slow links, baby. Circling speed or not. Serral's gonna find some damage. And that is going to do it. It is Serral, BASILISK Serral, who advances into the grand finals of the Masters Coliseum. Also, obviously, a round of applause to ByuN, who played one hell of a tournament. He finishes in 3rd place, and that is obviously pretty damn good. What does ByuN get for his efforts? Hey, I hear Conor McGregor. I got biddies. Woohoo, thank you. So, guys, ByuN finishes in 3rd place. He'll walk away with 4.1k. The grand finals of this tournament will go between Cure and Serral. A little over a month ago, Cure also had a grand finals against a BASILISK Zerg, but that was Rainer. Rainer got the best of Cure 4-1 in Saudi Arabia at the grand finals of Game S8. 1 month into the future, Cure once more sees a Basilisk Zerg staring him down on the other side of the grand finals. This time around an online tournament, but obviously, needless to say, a very big one, a very prestigious one. Now, the only thing I don't know, guys, is if we're doing a best of 5, best of 7, and how much time they're going to give Yona. Because I assume that Yona gets some time. ETA for... I do think that if you just played a lower bracket final, you deserve 5-10 minutes, right, to get ready. I'm gonna ask the admin. Yeah, it should be best of 7, but I just don't know if there is any advantage. I kind of feel that there should be some advantage for Cure. Is there any advantage for Cure in grand finals? Maybe server advantage? Best of 7-0-0 start. Alright, there is apparently no upper bracket advantage. No, they will not do that. Now, the days, guys, that it was always a 1-0 lead in the best of 7 are not necessarily around anymore. There are many tournaments that don't do this because they feel that it ruins the grand finals. So this is not weird, or I know there's like 2 people out there, conspiracy theory. Serral gets favored. This was clearly, if they say these are the rules, then obviously these are the rules they decided before the tournament, no matter who wins the upper bracket. I don't think it's totally right, to be fair. I like some sort of an advantage. Like, and I don't care if it's in map pick order or if it's server order or if it's best of 7 with 1-0 lead. I think personally 1-0 lead in a best of 7 is quite fair. Or indeed, it's a best of 5, 0-0. But if Serral wins the best of 5, then you play a best of 3. I actually really like that one. I think that's my favorite rule. So there is no weird scoreline. I would say best of 5 grand finals, and if Serral wins the best of 5, there should be another best of 3. But if Cure wins the best of 5, he just wins the grand finals. However, I am not in charge of this tournament, guys. I am not the referee. I'm not the admin. I don't make the rules. They say best of 7, straight up, 0-0. That's your grand finals. Take it or leave it, Roddy. And obviously, guys, I'm going to take it. Because it's been a 10 out of 10 blast for me casting this entire tournament. Damn, Roddy's looking older since the last time I saw him. Well, mate, I have a shocking announcement for you. I am probably older since the last time you saw me. It'd be very creepy if I wasn't. It's Serral who wins the best of 5. Complete prediction. I'm going to go ahead. Best of 7 grand finals. 0-0. Start Cure versus Serral. Cure is teamless. So I cannot promote any team there. It's Cure. It's Basilisk Serral. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 20 minutes. I may obviously eventually cancel this or close this prediction. I have no idea when they want to start. What do you mean probably? I mean, I can't share all my secrets, can I now? Alright. ETA for games to start. Let's see if I can give you guys some more info. That was definitely pretty short. Single, best of 5, 1 hour. My guess is, guys, that we're going to do grand finals like in 10, 15-ish minutes. I'd be very surprised if they want to start within 2 minutes. I don't think that really makes any sense. You obviously want to hype things up a little bit. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take a little break. And by the time that I come back, we can just chat a little bit. As to when do the games? The last time Cure beat Serral was in June 2021 at TSL 7, 4-1. After that, Serral has been 18-1 versus Cure 18-1. Wow. Okay. All right, guys. Apparently, it's not going to be a very long break. Cool. All right. If that's what they want, then I'm fine. 3 minutes, and after that, I'll be back already, guys. Apparently, with the grand finals of the Masters Coliseum. I'll see you guys soon. Hype, 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 hype.